You get paid, you cover your bills, and somehow by the 25th, you're already running on fumes. No vacation, no big purchase, no crazy weekend. You just lived. And the money disappeared anyway. So you open your banking app and you just stare at it. Like, where did it go? I was tight all month. I said no to stuff. I skipped things. And I'm still here, in the hole before the month is even over. Here's the thing that's not a you problem. That's not a discipline problem. That's not even an income problem. Most guys living paycheck to paycheck aren't blowing their money on dumb stuff. They're barely making it, and they don't even know why. Nobody ever sat them down and showed them where it actually goes. Nobody drew the map, nobody pointed at the leaks. So the money keeps moving and you keep losing track of it. Straight up, the system is not designed for you to notice. Subscriptions renew quietly. Fees hide in the fine print. Prices go up slow enough that you stop feeling it. And by the time you check, it's already gone. Let that sink in. By the end of this video, you're going to see exactly where your paycheck is bleeding out every single month. No jargon, no complicated system, just clarity, the kind that makes you go, oh, that's what's been happening. And then I'm going to give you one first step to start taking control. That's it. One step. Simple enough to actually do it. Let's get into it. Here's what nobody tells you. It's not the big stuff that kills your paycheck. It's not the rent. It's not the car payment. Those you see coming. Those you plan for. You know exactly what they cost and when they hit. What wipes you out is the stuff you never even notice. The small things. The automatic things. The things that happen quietly in the background while you're just trying to get through the week. Think of it like a bucket with holes in the bottom. You keep filling it up every payday, and you keep wondering why it's always empty by the end of the month. The problem isn't how much water you're pouring in. The problem is the holes you never bothered to look for, and nobody handed you a flashlight. Here's where it gets wild. Researchers asked Americans how much they spend on subscriptions every month. The average answer was $86. Then, they checked the actual numbers. The real answer? $219. Same people, same accounts. A $133 gap every single month on stuff they didn't even know they were paying for. Let that sink in. Not $5, not $10, $133. Gone. And 42% of Americans are right now paying for at least one subscription they completely forgot they signed up for. That's not a budgeting problem. That's a visibility problem. And subscriptions are just one piece of this. By the time we finish this video, you're going to see 4 different ways your money is quietly walking out the door every month. None of them feel like decisions. They just feel like life. You can't plug a hole you don't know is there. So let's start looking. All right, first hole in the bucket. And it's probably the sneakiest one. Subscriptions. Not the ones you actually use. Those are fine. I'm talking about the ones running in the background right now, this month, quietly pulling money out of your account while you're not even looking. Think of it like a gym membership you forgot you signed up for. You went twice in January, felt great about it, and then life happened. But that $40 is still hitting your account every single month. You're basically paying rent on a building you never go to. And the building doesn't care. It just keeps cashing the check. That's exactly what forgotten subscriptions do. They don't ask permission. They don't send reminders. They just show up on your statement small enough that you scroll past them, big enough that they add up to something real. Here's the number. Researchers asked Americans how much they spend on subscriptions every month. The average answer was $86. Then they checked the actual bank statements. The real number? $219. Same people, same accounts. A $133 gap every month on stuff they didn't even know they were paying for. And 42% of Americans right now are paying for at least one subscription they completely forgot they signed up for. That's not careless spending. That's invisible spending. There's a difference. The fix is straightforward. Grab your last 3 months of bank statements. Go line by line. Flag every recurring charge, doesn't matter how small. You're going to find something that surprises you. Guaranteed. That's hole number 1. Let's move to hole number 2. Hole number 2. And this one hits different because it doesn't feel like a problem at all. Convenience spending. The coffee on the way to work. The delivery fee because you didn't feel like cooking. The $3 charge to skip the line. The extra $2 for faster shipping on something you didn't need in 2 days anyway. None of it feels like a decision. It just feels like Tuesday. Here's the best way to think about it. Imagine you have a jar on your kitchen counter. Every morning you drop a few coins in, nothing crazy, just whatever's loose in your pocket. You do it every day without thinking. A month goes by. You look at the jar, and it's overflowing. That's convenience spending. Every individual drop feels like nothing. The jar tells a different story. Here's the number. The average American spent $282 a month on impulse and convenience purchases in 2024. That's over $3,300 a year, not on vacations, not on anything you sat down and planned. Just on the small frictions of everyday life, the coffee, the delivery, the add-ons, the "it's only a few bucks" moments that stack up faster than you think. And here's what stings. Most guys don't track this stuff at all. It's not in the budget. It's not in the mental math. It just bleeds out one tap, one order, one convenience fee at a time. You don't have to cut it all out. That's not what this is about. The point is to see it, because once you actually see what convenience is costing you every month, you get to decide if it's worth it. That's the move, spending on purpose, instead of just leaking money without realizing it. That's hole number 2. 2 down, 2 to go. Hole number 3. And this one is the sneakiest of them all, because it only happens when things are going well. Lifestyle creep. Here's how it works. You get a raise, maybe a new job. The numbers go up, and almost automatically, without sitting down and deciding to, your spending goes up right along with it. Nicer apartment, better car, eating out more, upgrading stuff you didn't even need to upgrade. Nothing wrong with enjoying your money, but here's the problem. The raise was supposed to help you get ahead. Instead, it just changed what your normal looks like, and you end up in the exact same spot, just with more expensive stuff around you. Think of it like a treadmill. You walk faster, so the machine speeds up to match. You're working harder, but you're still not going anywhere. That's lifestyle creep. Your income goes up, your expenses follow, and the gap between what you earn and what you keep stays exactly the same. And here's the number that proves this isn't just a low-income problem. Studies show that 40% of households earning over $100,000 a year still feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. $100,000 a year and still broke at the end of the month. Not because they spend on crazy stuff, because their lifestyle grew just as fast as their income did. The fix is simple. When your income goes up, give it 30 days before you change anything. Just sit with it. Let the extra hit your account a few times. Then decide what to do with it on purpose, not on autopilot. That's hole number 3. One more to go. Hole number 4. And this one is different from the others because you didn't choose it. It was chosen for you. Hidden fees. Bank fees. Overdraft charges. The service fee buried in your phone bill. The processing fee that shows up at checkout right before you hit confirm. The maintenance fee on an account you opened 3 years ago and forgot about. None of these feel like spending because, technically, they aren't. They're just money that gets taken from you while you're not paying attention. Think of it like a landlord who quietly raises your rent by $5 every few months. Small enough that you don't notice. But over a year, you're paying $60 more than you agreed to, and you never even had the conversation. That's what fees do. They move in slow and small, and they stay forever. Here's the number. The average American loses between $200 and $300 a year just in bank fees, maintenance charges, overdraft fees, out-of-network ATM fees. $200 to $300 that didn't go toward anything. Not toward debt, not toward savings, just straight to the bank for the privilege of having an account. And that's only banking. Add in the service fees, the convenience charges, the fine print buried in your subscriptions, and the number climbs fast. The move here is simple. Pull up your last 2 months of statements. Look for any charge with the word fee in it. Google every one you don't recognize. A lot of these are negotiable or completely avoidable. You just have to know they're there first. 4 holes. Now you can see all of them. Let's talk about what they're actually costing you combined. All right, you've seen all 4 holes in the bucket. Subscriptions you forgot about. Convenient spending that doesn't feel like spending. Lifestyle creep that followed every raise you ever got. And fees that get taken from you before you even have a chance to say no. Now let's add it up. Think of it like a receipt you never asked for. You go through the month, you don't feel like you spent anything crazy, and then you look at the actual total. That's this moment right here. The subscription gap alone, $133 a month, in charges most people don't even know they have. Convenience spending. The average American blew $282 a month on impulse and unplanned purchases in 2024. Lifestyle creep silently eating the difference between what you earn and what you keep. And bank fees pulling another $200 to $300 out of your account every year just for existing. Add it all up, and you're looking at well over $400 a month leaking out through 4 holes. Most people never even look at. $400 every month. Not on rent, not on groceries, not on anything you sat down and chose. Over a year, that's more than $5,000 gone. Let that land for a second. $5,000. That's a car down payment. That's 3 months of rent. That's the emergency fund you've been meaning to build for the last 2 years. That's the debt you've been carrying around wondering why it never seems to shrink. This isn't about blame. You weren't taught to look for this stuff. Nobody was. But now you see it, and seeing it changes everything. Here's the part most financial videos get wrong. They show you the problem, and then they tell you to cut everything. No coffee, no subscriptions, no fun. Just grind and sacrifice until the numbers work. That's not what this is, because the goal was never to make your life smaller. The goal is to make your choices visible. There's a huge difference between those two things. Think of it like the difference between driving with your eyes open versus driving with your eyes closed. You're going the same speed. The road is the same. But one version of you can actually see what's coming and steer. That's what awareness does. It doesn't slow you down. It puts you in control. You don't have to cancel everything. You don't have to stop going out. You don't have to live like a monk to get your money right. You just have to stop letting the decisions happen without you. Because right now, here's what's actually going on. Some of that $400 a month, you choose to spend it again, and that's fine. Maybe the food delivery is worth it. Maybe one of those subscriptions genuinely adds something to your life. Keep it. Own that decision. But some of it, you'd never choose again if you actually saw it. The subscription you forgot, the fee you didn't know existed, the upgrade that happened on autopilot. That's the money we're going after. The money you're losing without even deciding to spend it. That shift from spending by default to spending on purpose is the whole game. That's how guys who don't earn more than you do end up further ahead. Not because they make more, because they see more. So what do you actually do with all of this? One step. That's it. I promised you one step at the beginning, and here it is. It's called a money audit, and it takes about 20 minutes. Here's how it works. You grab your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements. You go through every single line. And for each charge, you ask yourself one question. Did I choose this? Not is it a lot of money? Not is it a necessity? Just, did I choose this? Did I make a conscious decision to spend this? Or did it just happen? Think of it like going through your closet and pulling out everything you own. You lay it all out on the bed. Some of it you look at and think, yeah, I still want that. Keep pile. Some of it you haven't touched in 2 years, and you don't even remember buying it. That goes. The audit works the same way. You're not throwing everything out. You're just finally seeing what's in there. What you're going to find is one of 3 things. Charges you forgot about, cancel them today. Fees you didn't know existed, call the bank and ask to have them waived. Most of the time they will. And spending you recognize but don't stand behind, now you can decide if it stays or goes. That's the whole move. No spreadsheet, no complicated system, no app you have to pay for. Just 20 minutes, 3 months of statements, and 1 question per line. Do that this week, not someday. This week, because the money is already leaving. The only question is whether you're going to start watching where it goes. You came into this video wondering where your money was going. Now you know. It's not one big thing. It's 4 quiet things subscriptions running in the background. Convenience spending that doesn't feel like spending. A lifestyle that grew every time your income did. And fees that never asked permission. Together, they're pulling over $400 out of your pocket every single month without you choosing any of it. And the fix isn't complicated. It's one audit. 20 minutes, 3 months of statements. 1 question per line. Did I choose this? That's your starting point. Not a budget, not a spreadsheet, not an app. Just clarity, the kind that puts you back in the driver's seat instead of wondering why you're always running on empty. Now here's what I need from you. If this video opened your eyes, if you saw something today that you hadn't seen before, hit that like button right now. It tells the algorithm this kind of content is worth pushing out to more people who need it. And if you know someone who's always wondering where their money went at the end of the month, send this to them. That might be the most useful thing you do for them this week. Drop a comment below and tell me which of the 4 hit closest to home for you. Subscriptions, convenience spending, lifestyle creep, hidden fees. I read every single one. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? This is just the beginning of what we're building here. Welcome to the Stackers. Go make your money work. I'll see you in the next one.